You put $100 in your wallet today. You don't touch it. You don't spend it. You don't lose it. A year later, you pull out that same bill. Same serial number, same worn edges, same piece of paper, but it's not worth $100 anymore. Nothing happened to the money. Everything happened around it. This is what they don't teach you in school. Money doesn't just sit still. It decays, silently, predictably, and the system is designed that way. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people learn too late. Saving money and preserving wealth are not the same thing. In 1970, a new car cost about $3,500. A house was roughly $23,000. Gas was 36 cents a gallon. Those numbers aren't nostalgia. They're proof of what a dollar used to do. Today, that same car costs around $40,000. That house is closer to $400,000. Gas hovers near $3.50. Same country, same currency, very different purchasing power. The dollar didn't disappear, it got weaker. If you held cash from 1970 until now, you lost around 90% of its value, not because you were reckless, but because you did nothing. That erosion has a name: inflation. But calling it inflation makes it sound natural, like weather. It's not. It's policy. And understanding it means understanding who benefits when your money loses value. Money enters the economy in two main ways. Governments print it, and banks create it through loans. When a bank gives a mortgage, it doesn't hand over existing money. It creates new money digitally and charges interest on it. That's how the system works. So the money supply keeps expanding, but the amount of goods and services doesn't grow at the same speed. When more money chases the same amount of stuff, each dollar buys less. Simple math, painful outcome. Central banks target about 2% inflation per year. Sounds harmless, but compounded, that cuts your money's value in half roughly every 35 years. Put differently, stash $10,000 at age 25, and by 60 it buys what $5,000 buys today. You didn't spend it. You still lost half. Why design a system like this? Officially, mild inflation encourages spending and investment. It keeps the economy moving. That's the theory. In reality, inflation heavily favors debtors, and the biggest debtor is the government. Borrow today, repay later with weaker money. Inflation quietly erases debt. But if you're holding cash or earning a fixed income, you pay the price. Worse, inflation isn't evenly distributed. New money enters through governments, corporations, and asset markets first. Those closest to the source spend it before prices rise. By the time it reaches workers and savers, costs have already increased. This is why assets inflate first: housing, stocks, collectibles, while wages lag behind. Same inflation rate on paper. Completely different outcomes in real life. The system depends on people not fully understanding this. If everyone tried to escape cash at once, prices would spike and inflation would explode. So trust and ignorance keep it stable. But trust is fragile. History shows what happens when it breaks. Currencies collapse fast. That's why gold has lasted for thousands of years. You can't print it. Same idea with Bitcoin. Fixed supply, no central control. These exist because unlimited money eventually destroys itself. You can't exit the system completely. You still need cash to live. But cash isn't safety. It's a melting ice cube. The wealthy learned this long ago. They hold assets, not to get richer, but to avoid getting poorer. This isn't advice to gamble. It's a warning to understand the game. Your $100 bill is still in your wallet. Same paper, different world, and the clock is ticking.